Will Johnson, a name that should have been a lock for the first round, especially after his second season at Michigan, where he logged a first-team All-American and a consensus first-team All-Big Ten honor, which was insane. He had one of the best corner seasons of all time. He was named defensive MVP of the 2023 College Football Playoff National Championship game, and he had a heck of a year, logging 4 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, and 27 tackles. And then also on top of that, he was just an absolute beast. So after that year, if you would have told anybody at Michigan, anybody who watched college football, that Will Johnson was not going to be a first-round pick, they would have looked at you like you were insane. But the reality is, he was taken in the second by the Arizona Cardinals, and the only reason he fell, we'll talk about in just a second. But as you guys see, he was taken in the middle of the second round, which is an absolute steal. The Arizona Cardinals might have had an absolute legend in the making, because not only did one of our best corners in franchise history, Patrick Peterson, end up announcing this draft pick, but guess what? Will Johnson's also stated multiple times how motivated he is, and that this is going to drive him, and that he is going to prove Arizona right and show exactly why other teams regretted passing up on him. Now, hopefully this isn't a Josh Rosen situation, but I totally believe in Will Johnson. He's a prospect that I had as a guarantee lock as a top 10 player. Somehow we slipped. I thought we would have to take him with our first round selection, but he fell to the second, and now we are blessed with him and Walter Nolan. Let's see how the careers pan out. Today we're going to be discussing Will Johnson. We're going to be talking about why I think he is a legendary corner and how the Cardinals got an absolute steal. And then on top of that, I'm also going to discuss exactly how he fell. If you guys are new to the channel and end up enjoying today's video, man, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL content, so if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But let's go ahead and dive right into this thing, because it's kind of crazy. It all started around the combine, where Will Johnson had a supposed knee injury that everybody deemed too risky to take and too risky to actually will a first-round draft pick selection on him. Adam Schefter ended up tweeting around combine time that Michigan Will Johnson had a knee issue, and then guess what? NFL teams passed on him. Adam Schefter, during the draft, spoke with multiple people and said he has a knee issue that has been a concern for some NFL teams, and explains why he has not been selected and was still on the board after the first round. Absolutely ridiculous, and Will Johnson is coming with a chip on his shoulder. A player that was supposed to fall. All the tape at Michigan deemed him a guaranteed first round pick. One of the best zone corners, best instincts, best hip mobility, just one of the most fluid prospects that we have seen in a long time. Just somehow magically drops because this knee injury just popped up out of nowhere. Now, obviously, you would assume that these NFL scouts and guys know a lot more than us, but for some reason, nothing came out about this. And Will Johnson even talked about this and said, this isn't a problem. It hasn't been a problem for a long time. And here he is, falling to the second round, landing in the Arizona Cardinals lap, and now he's here. Will Johnson was very frustrated that he fell into the second round. He did not want to be there. He assumed he was going to be a first-round draft pick based on the talent and what he showed at Michigan. But for some reason, he fell. He was not happy, and he was very frustrated. And after the draft, he ended up getting interviewed and said, I think I've been able to move on. I'm just happy to be here, happy to get to work, and I know it's going to be something special here, so I'm excited for it. When he just first got drafted, I told you guys Nick Rallis' scheme was the perfect fit for him, just because it is zone-centric, and Nick Rallis is a perfect utilizer of talent. And Will Johnson, when it comes to the scheme, he said the scheme is amazing. It's a cornerback's dream. So I'm excited to play in it. I'm excited to get comfortable with it and just learn more about it. I've learned a good amount so far, so just continuing to learn and get comfortable in it and make a lot of plays. This is one of those systems that plays perfectly to Will Johnson's strengths. A corner who is very fluid in movement, likes to take gambles, likes to take risks and get interceptions, and on top of that is a fantastic zone corner. You're not going to be impressed every single time. You have to do it as every NFL corner should, but Will Johnson has looked fantastic in camp, and I expect these things to continue in the NFL. Head coach Jonathan Gannon believes the same thing. Jonathan Gannon, who was a former defensive back coach, said Will Johnson is really smart, saying the rookie understands the game, structures and the objectives, and he even praised his elite coverage instincts, adding what stood out to Gannon during the scouting process was his ability to play the ball. At 6'2", 194 pounds, because he is taller and longer than most corners, it allows him to do that and do more in coverage. Jonathan Gannon also said that he likes his ability that he can walk up and challenge people and then play off as well and see the quarterback. Jonathan Gannon, just like I, assume that there's going to be some growing pains and some learning strengths. Unfortunately, Starling Thomas did go down with an injury and an ACL tear, but Will Johnson is now currently thrown into the fire and will probably be the team's starting cornerback. So if it happens, do not be surprised. But Jonathan Gannon said the quarterbacks here can stand in the pocket and deliver the ball accurately on time. He said that's an adjustment for those guys. There's not a lot of time to make up ground throughout the down to win that down up here. So I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Will Johnson, and once the timing pans out, he's going to be just fine. Jonathan Gannon is one of the best defensive-minded head coaches in the league, on top of Nick Rallis being here, which is fantastic for him and his development because he is a rookie corner getting thrown into the fire. That is a very dangerous situation, and you need the Cardinals and a team who is trying to compete right now with a very veteran-sense defense, just trying to compete. You need him to step up, and it might take a little bit of time. So you got to do everything you can to groom him into the prospect that you want and develop him on time. You don't want to rush things. You got to be patient with him, and I truly believe in Jonathan Gannon to unlock the best out of him. I genuinely believe from the bottom of my heart that Will Johnson can become an all-pro. He could become the Pro Bowl guy that I think he can be, but it's gonna take time. It might not be a Patrick Peterson kind of thing. I know I throw that out a lot just because he's the one who drafted him, but the thing is, they really don't play alike. They could be shut down outside corners, but Patrick Peterson was a phenomenal return man. Will Johnson will not be fielding punt returns. On top of that, Patrick Peterson excelled in man coverage and used his speed and quickness and fluidity to help him get to the all-pro level. Will Johnson is a guy who takes risks. He is a gambler. He is a ball hawk, just like Patrick Peterson was, but Will Johnson thrives in zone. When his eyes are on the quarterback and he can read and react, that is when he is at his best. Patrick Peterson, you could argue the same thing, but honestly, you would rather have Patrick Peterson playing man and Will Johnson playing zone for the predominant, if anything. Regardless, I think Will Johnson has a chance to be an all-pro, and I cannot wait for that. So Jonathan Gannon, I expect to unlock the best out of him, and if Will Johnson becomes a future all-pro Pro Bowler and one of the best Cardinals corners to ever play the game, do not be surprised. I'm saying it here first, and I think the Cardinals got an absolute gem of a steal. So we're going to watch his career pan out and stay tuned. I know this is a lot of pressure on a player, and I am talking insanely high. I've done this for a couple people in the past. I said Garrett Williams is going to be a stud, and he ended up panning out. That was a hit. Let's go ahead and see if this Will Johnson one will pan out. I'm really hoping it does. I have all the faith in him. You guys let me know down below if you guys agree with my take. But with that being said, that is going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And if you did, consider hitting that subscribe button. We are so close to 9,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can hit 10K by the end of the year. But if we hit 9K before the beginning of the NFL season, that would be an absolute W, man. Appreciate you guys for all the support, though. It has been your boy Mythic. Much love, man. Peace out.